All right, folks, welcome to another week of the Doe and 5-0 show. Joe, how you doing today?
I'm fine.
He's half asleep already. Been another interesting day here in Indiana. Started off raining, a little bit of sunshine now.
It was cold for
It was cold.
It was humid. I went to work at 2:30 this morning. It was humid. It was bearable. I got out of the work. It was cold. I worked out for a while. Went outside. It was hot. And I don't know what the hell it is now.
Life in Indiana, man. Life in Indiana. We took the kids to the zoo, and they have a freeze petting zoo type place in Lafayette. Have you ever heard of it? I think it's called Columbian Zoo or something like that.
No, I never heard
It's a really nice place. It really is. But we decided to take the kids there this morning, and
You did that this morning already?
after we left from seeing you this morning, we took the kids to that zoo, and it was overcast and windy and it was chilly. And then we packed a picnic, had a picnic, and then when it came time to play, my mother-in-law was with us, and she decided it was time to go. About that time, the sun came up, and it was nice enough to play outside. So kids were a little bit out of shape, but it is what it is. So, not a whole lot of news going on in my personal life this week. You got anything you want to talk about before we get going on the interesting headlines we got lined up today?
I've got nothing.
He never has anything.
No.
Ever. So, all right, we'll go ahead and dive into the headlines this week. Out of Manitoba, Canada, a teen caught speeding in Canada reportedly told police he urgently needed to use the bathroom.
Been there. I've been there. I get it. You got a ticket though, huh?
Well, you'll understand why. 16-year-old was reportedly driving his Camaro. 16-year-old with a Camaro. There's the first problem.
Yeah.
105 miles an hour is what he was clocked. That's when the Royal Canadian Mounted Police clocked his speed and pulled him over. Police say the teen told him he had too many hot wings and needed to use the bathroom right away. WRGT reported that the teen received a $966 fine for speeding and a $203 fine for driving without a supervised driver in the vehicle.
Oh, he wasn't even really legal.
Well, I'm not sure what the driving laws are in Canada.
Well, if it was yeah, that must be what it is.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Wow.
He's supposed to have probably an adult car with him. So.
And he probably pooped in his pants.
Yeah. So, I mean, those must have been some pretty brutal hot wings, I guess, if he was driving that fast.
Because what is it? Whenever I've been pulled over, it hasn't happened for a long time, but I don't know what it is. I know that you guys had this information a little sooner. You'd have to explain it to me, but I'm waiting forever. It's like, look, I was speeding. I get it. I already said, yeah, I understand. Here's my license. Here's my registration. Mm-hmm. I was speeding because I'm in a hurry. And now I'm sitting there for 20 minutes, and it's like, what are you guys doing in there? I don't know if you guys are playing video games or what you're doing, and your computer's been there, but it takes forever. So this kid who really has to poop,
yeah.
And it's going to be a painful ordeal. And
you know, speaking from unfortunate personal experience, you know, you hear just about every excuse there is under man why I ran that stop sign, why I'm speeding, blah 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 blah.
Right.
And you hear it so much, you almost become numb to it, you know, sometimes. And most of the, you know, and that this is a very popular one. Oh, I've really got to go to the bathroom. I've really got to go to the bathroom. Yeah, we've all been there, but that doesn't excuse you driving 50 mile an hour over the speed limit. You know what I mean? So, you know, you say it takes a while. Well, yeah, it does.
It was hot wings.
But I did. There was one time many years ago where I received that excuse from a gentleman. He told me he's got IBS, which
okay.
And I'd heard that a million times before too. Okay, well, I'll be back with you. And I didn't take long. I tried to speed up the process, but again, I didn't really believe him.
You were too late, weren't you?
And I was too late. When I walked up there, I could actually smell the man apparently did have IBS, and he did not get a ticket because I felt bad for him. So
yeah. So let that be a lesson to you. If you get pulled over for speeding, say you have IBS and poop. Just go ahead and poop in your pants, and you'll get out of your ticket.
He had enough problems. So, staying here, coming back here to Indiana, out of Greenfield. A Greenfield woman is being charged with setting her ex-boyfriend's home on fire. Danya Jordan is facing arson, burglary, theft, and criminal mischief charges. Police say that on June 2nd, firefighters and officers were called to 127 Forest Avenue for a house fire. The owner, Scott Blackford, told investigators he believed the fire was set by his ex-girlfriend and that she had threatened to burn his house down in the past. According to court documents, she was also upset over the breakup. $60, she says, she loaned him so he could buy marijuana, and she wanted her personal lubricant back. She reportedly told investigators that she did not set the fire on purpose and believes it may have started from her cigarette after she had broken into the home.
It started from my
Trial has been
cigarette
set from November.
and the gasoline that I put on there, but it was completely inadvertent. So she.
So basically, she loaned this guy $60 for some weed, and he was also withholding her personal lubricant. And
What was he doing with that?
I didn't say. I don't know.
I really need more information on this.
Yeah. So apparently, if you date this girl, we'll put her mugshot up there for you.
I didn't get to see her.
Don't loan her any, or don't let her loan you money for any weed.
Well, pay her back.
Yeah, definitely pay her
Give
back.
her back her lubricant.
Because yeah, she'll burn your stuff right down.
It was an accident.
Yeah. So getting ready to try and pull up. We've got a lot of Florida stuff this week, and
Oh,
we'll
I'm
bring that to you
excited.
soon in our This Week in Florida segment. So I'm just going down the line here and making sure I don't hit any
That was
Florida
God.
stories.
Don't worry about it.
All right. Out of Texas, a woman pulled a gun on a man inside of a Mexican restaurant in southeast Austin during an argument over who would be up next for karaoke just before 1 a.m. Sunday morning. The woman, identified as police by 41-year-old Doris Vallejo Godoy, was with her girlfriend in the bar at the Buttafuoco bar near the intersection of Buttafuoco Street and Interstate 35 when the confrontation began over the karaoke machine in the restaurant. Buttafuoco told police she pulled out her pistol to calm the man down after he called her bad names.
Wait. She pulled out her pistol to calm the man down.
Correct.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, they do things differently in Texas.
It is different there.
She never did point the gun at the man, according to the affidavit, but the man told officers after the argument began, Buttafuoco struck him in the face, pulled the gun out, and pointed it directly at him. A waitress at the restaurant tried to grab Buttafuoco from behind by pinning her arms down, the affidavit said. But Buttafuoco was able to break free, turned around, and held the gun to the waitress's stomach, saying, "I will expletive kill you." Buttafuoco's girlfriend was able to calm her down enough for the pair to pay and leave, according to the affidavit.
Wait. Okay, the Buttafuoco you're talking about now is the girl or is the...
I believe it's two girls.
Okay.
Around this time, police arrived and arrested Buttafuoco for assaulting the man and pointing a deadly weapon at him. She was charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, which is a second-degree felony. Police also said she lacked a concealed handgun license and was charged with unlawful carrying of a concealed weapon, which is a third-degree felony. Buttafuoco was at the Travis County Correctional Complex on Monday with her bail set at a combined $60,000 for both charges.
So...
All this started over a
Karaoke.
Yeah.
Are you allowed to bring a weapon into a bar? I thought there was something with that. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
I mean, it would be... Here in Indiana, we have... You have to have a gun permit to legally carry a firearm. So, you see a lot of headlines about this now. A lot of it is pertained to police officers in different areas that, certain establishments will say, you're not welcome in here with the firearm, and, that's their right to say that.
Mm-hmm. It's a bad idea. When there's alcohol involved, people...
But then, and I can't think of anything specific offhand, but a lot of fast food places might have these, or restaurants where officers might be able to get in and out fairly quick on a meal break during the course of their shift, and these restaurants have refused to serve the officers because they have their firearms on their hips, as if we can just take them off,
Right.
So,
I'll tell you what, that's probably a good idea. As much as they irritate you in the fast food places, you probably shouldn't be armed.
Yeah. It's just one of those ridiculous things. It's kind of a funnier story. Years ago, it was before I even started working here in the community where this show is filmed, that I had left the department I was working for before I was allowed to go watch. One of my kids was in a Christmas play. They were playing part of the manger scene. They had like a live manger scene.
Oh, okay.
I can't remember who was playing what. It's been too long ago now, but I showed up there in uniform, and it was my father-in-law's church is what it was, and I showed up in the uniform, didn't think anything about it, and he, after the fact, and he wasn't upset or anything, he goes, it's the first time someone's ever walked into my church with a gun on, and I just wasn't really sure how to feel about it, It's like, well, I'm not really allowed to take that off when I'm in uniform, so.
Yeah, that'd be okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of funny now. It's not funny. It's sad that it's come to this, but there's churches all over the country now that actually have security details stationed and throughout, and they all run things differently. A lot of them have stationed at doors and stuff just because of, the mass
Everything
shootings,
that's been going on, right.
and things. And
I still think it's weird to have them in schools.
it is.
Our teachers were in charge when I was in school, and we didn't.
And you see the headlines now about, it's a pretty controversial subject. Should teachers be armed? Should they be trained how to handle firearms? And
the thing is, if they're armed because of the lack of respect by the students, I'd be afraid that are going to be taken away from a teacher.
right.
So I don't think that's a good idea either.
Yeah, I mean, obviously they're there to teach, right, and to try and mentor these kids.
They're
and
not.
be there
They're
for
not
them.
policemen.
Right.
That shouldn't be their job. They have enough going on.
So, and I don't know. I don't really necessarily agree with teachers being armed. I'm not dead set against it like some people are per se, but again, they're not really trained. Even if they say they put them through a few hours of training to do this, that's
It's
not
not
enough.
the same
It's
thing,
not the same,
no. And they really do have so much on their plate already. They shouldn't be in charge of that. That's just
Right.
wrong.
Yeah. It is. It's sad, and you're right. You're trying to wrap your head around the fact that there's still officers in buildings. That's becoming more and more common. At least in this area, they're all over the place in the buildings. Right. Whether it's full-time officers like we have in our community, or maybe it's off-duty officers in other communities that are covering the buildings during the school year, whatever it may be. It's still sad. Sworn officers in there, and it's sad that it's come to that. But again,
do you think this all stems from lack of respect?
Yeah, I mean, you never heard about this stuff when we were in school. I mean, kids may have popped off every once in a while, but they paid the price for it when they did, right? So, but
I was punished often, deservingly so. I should have been, and I mean, we've talked about this before. I'd get punished at school. I never went home and said anything to my parents about it because I was just going to get punished again, and
right.
But I had to respect even the teachers I didn't like. There were a couple of teachers I didn't care for. Still gave them respect.
Right.
It's just different now.
And I don't know if I guess maybe you could say it's the way kids are being raised. I'm not sure, but you're right. Even if you didn't like the teacher per se, and we all had teachers we didn't like when we were growing up for different reasons, you were still taught to respect them whether you liked them or not. And even if you didn't respect them per se, you still showed them respect because they were an authority figure.
Right.
And you just, it's amazing to me now how many of these kids, and a couple weeks ago, 2-3 weeks ago in the show, we covered on this a little bit. Then, we showed some videos where kids were, body slamming teachers and cussing them and flipping them.
I didn't see that till I was watching the video. It's like, my God, really?
It's amazing.
And the teachers were afraid of them. I don't remember any teachers being afraid of us.
Even parents. We take calls now where parents are afraid of their kids to discipline their kids, I guess, is the point I'm trying to make. And for those of you that live here in Indiana, you can still discipline your children. It's okay.
Maybe because of the epidemic, or not epidemic, but there's so many single parent families, and it's so hard for either parent to, when you have a mom and a dad around, you have a good cop and a bad cop, and it always works. I mean, it's just, that's why there is two of them, I guess.
Yeah.
One of them's at work all day, and they're coming home, and they're trying to take care of the house, they're trying to take care of the kids and the schedule and stuff like that, and then you try to do discipline, and that's probably the last thing that they can take care of.
Yeah, it's sad. It's sad the way the things are. It's unbelievable to me. I leave scratching my head from a lot of calls that, I've taken calls where I've got an out-of-control 5-year-old.
Really?
Really? Come on.
I'm pretty small, but I'm bigger than a 5-year-old.
I mean, yeah.
I could take my kids when they were 5. That's right. Probably 2 of them at a time.
Well, we only had a few of those stories that were away from Florida this week, Joe, so it's already time for...
We're already in Florida time?
Are you ready?
I'm pretty excited. Good.
It's time for This Week in Florida.
This is how we roll. We hanging around, singing out everything on the radio.
All right, folks, welcome to another week of This Week in Florida on the Doe and 5-0 show. We're going to kick things off out of beautiful, sunny Sarasota, Florida, where Sarasota man...
Lee, your noodle?
gotta read, man. I gotta read.
Don't forget your noodle.
Anyway.
That just looks wrong.
Sarasota man behind bars after being found butt naked in a chicken coop in New York. Wait, that doesn't make any sense. How's this out of Sarasota? Oh, because he's a Sarasota man. Sarasota man is now in custody after following a manhunt in New York that ended with him naked inside of a chicken coop. On Wednesday, June 5th, New York State Police arrested 25-year-old John Mene. I don't know if I'm saying that right. After police said a bizarre series of events started when he allegedly burglarized a home in Sarasota and stole a car. Police say he crashed that car somewhere north of Pennsylvania and caught a ride on the back of a pickup truck. But eventually he ran away on foot when multiple law enforcement units joined in on the chase. Police say tips from the public made all the difference in his arrest. Mene is being charged with, let's just call him Mayonnaise, is being charged with robbery, possession of stolen property, burglary, and aggravated cruelty to animals. Police say he was acting erratic, but cannot say if he was on drugs. New York State Police Department's full press release can be located on their website there.
You know, I was going to ask why he was naked in a chicken coop, and now I think I know. So, don't you hate when you're being chased by police and you're found naked in a chicken coop?
First of all, I hate birds. I hate all birds. I've been crapped on by birds so many times during the course of my life. It's like an ongoing joke with my family and friends. It was just last week. Actually, I got a little bit of redemption myself, kind of, sort of. We had that food drive, and my wife and I are out delivering all these boxes of groceries, and we were walking up a staircase to an apartment, and there was a bird that was, I don't know if it was slightly injured or what, but it was just, most of the time when you get anywhere remotely close to a bird, it'll fly away.
Right.
This thing was just kind of hopping around a little bit, and then it flew up and kind of went near my face. And Sarah was a few steps back. Oh, Lee's getting screwed by the birds again. And then that thing flew right at her face and hit her. And I'm like, that's what you get, woman. Birds are disgusting creatures. I don't care what anybody says. I know there's bird lovers out there. I'm not one of them.
I like birds.
I hate birds.
So did Mayonnaise over there.
So did man.
You like birds a lot.
You like them a little bit too much. Florida thief takes a blowtorch to an ATM during alleged robbery, and he wields it shut instead. That's right. Authorities say 2 Florida burglars thought they were clever when they used a blowtorch to break into an ATM machine, but they never were able to hit the jackpot. Instead, the burning heat actually welded the ATM's hinges shut. Okaloosa County Sheriff's officials say that video surveillance footage shows 2 male suspects entering the boardwalk on, I'm not sure how you say it. I've actually been here. Okaloosa Island, I think is how you say it. One was armed with a crowbar and appeared to serve as the lookout, while the other genius was taking the blowtorch to the ATM. Instead of cutting the ATM open with the blowtorch, authorities say the would-be thief accidentally welded the metal parts shut, and they ended up leaving with nothing.
And all this is on camera.
It's all on camera.
This is such idiots. Florida. We're back in Florida.
I love Florida. Maybe one of these days we'll just do nothing but Florida.
I don't think it's
going to be hard to come up with material.
Yeah, we have
That's
lots
pretty much
of
what this
material.
show is already this week. So. Another Sarasota story here. A group of passengers experienced a scary nightmare while on a 12-hour charter boat fishing trip. Sarasota police say on Sunday, June 2nd, 5 passengers joined Captain Mark Bailey and his first mate,
3-hour tour?
David Kissel, on the charter boat, the Double Marker. The group departed Sarasota at 6 a.m. for a 12-hour fishing trip. According to statements given to police, Captain Bailey was drinking numerous beers and was heavily intoxicated while driving the boat. When they were about 60 miles out in the Gulf, one of the passengers, Carlo Buttafuoco, asked 15-year-old Jason Buttafuoco to go to the second deck and grab a beer from a plastic bucket that was next to the captain. The captain told Buttafuoco to put the beer back. The teen then thought the captain was kidding and kept going. The report says Bailey then grabbed him and ripped off a chain that was around the teen's neck. An argument then ensued amongst the passengers. The report said that the group tried to continue on with their trip, but the mood was sour, and Captain Bailey continued to drink and do cocaine.
Yeah, oh, great.
The captain then called up 25-year-old passenger Chris Buttafuoco. What the hell is up with all these names? To come speak with him, and the captain reportedly said, "I have a gun, and if I want to, I will put a bullet in each of your heads and leave you all out here." At that point, we were all kind of waiting for something horrible to happen, for him to come down the stairs with his gun. After the passengers pleaded to go home, the captain reportedly continued drinking, took out a 9mm handgun, and fired 6 to 7 shots in the air. At this point, they were thinking that it was going to end badly, and I think they thought that they were all going to try and strategize as to what they could do, where they could hide, where they could go, so on and so forth. They're running inside and ducking, thinking, I can't get shot today. Captain appeared to turn around and head to shore, but the passengers soon discovered he was just driving around in circles. They were then able to use the compass on their phones to confirm that they were actually going in circles. A passenger pleaded with him. The captain reportedly responded, no, I can do this for as long as I want. I do this for a living. Eventually, when they finally got a cell phone signal, the passengers contacted Sarasota police and the U.S. Coast Guard. After Bailey was arrested, he kicked the rear door of the Sarasota police cruiser. Bailey has been charged with boating under the influence and resisting law enforcement. Other crimes will be investigated by the United States Coast Guard.
Wow.
A little bit of a lengthy story there, but basically the man was just having some beer and doing some coke.
Just having a little fun.
I thought that was normal behavior in Florida.
Everyone's so pissy.
Yeah. Okay. Florida man.
I just see an odd man and a bottle of ketchup, and my imagination's running away with me.
Florida man arrested for domestic ketchup battery. Florida man is facing domestic battery rap after allegedly covering a sleeping girlfriend in Heinz 57 ketchup. Investigators say Peter Wagman, 37, and his 41-year-old girlfriend have recently been in arguments over infidelity by the victim. The couple, who lives in Pinellas Park, Florida, have been together for 11 years. At around 4:45 a.m. Sunday morning, cops report that the victim awoke to ketchup being poured on her by Wagman, who was yelling, "That's what you get, bitch." When police arrived at the residence, they found the woman covered in ketchup. Wagman denied the condiment attack, though a patrolman noted that he has ketchup on the right side of his pants. Wagman, who was released yesterday from the county jail, had pleaded not guilty to the misdemeanor domestic battery count. The judges ordered him to have no contact with the victim. Both Wagman and his girlfriend have previously been arrested for battering each other, though charges in those separate cases were eventually dropped by prosecutors. In April, the woman was busted after allegedly striking Wagman as they argued in their residence. During that dispute, cops noted the couple took turns writing on their bed and carving their names into the bed. Arrested for battering his significant other with a bottle of ketchup. And not hitting her with the ketchup, but squirting it on her.
Is that really illegal? I mean...
Yeah, I mean, and I can't say what the statute says in Florida, but here, if I touch you and you don't want to be touched in Indiana, that's considered a form of battery.
But he touched her with ketchup.
Yeah.
And so
Domestic
that's battery
charge.
too?
Yeah, apparently.
Wow.
Maybe.
Florida.
All right, last Florida story and story of the day before we before we do that Beanboozled thing again, folks.
Oh, I'm kind of scared this time.
Florida man calls 911 to brag about fleeing from a traffic stop. What do we pay you guys for? Out of St. Augustine, Florida. Florida man was arrested after fleeing a traffic stop and then calling 911 to brag about not being caught yet. He was found with drugs in his vehicle and continued to brag about the incident. Deputies say that 19-year-old Nicholas Carlman Jones was pulled over in St. Augustine after he fled from a traffic stop. Nicholas was also wanted for a warrant out of the St. Johns County Sheriff's Office. When he was pulled over, the St. Johns County Sheriff's Office said they found a jar full of marijuana, THC wax, a small bag containing an unknown white powder, and a dish containing pink tinted crystal substance. All these narcotics were in the driver's side door pocket of the vehicle. Several pipes and dishes were also found. The arrest affidavit stated that the responding officer asked Nicholas why he ran from the traffic stop. Nicholas just smiled and said nothing, so the officer then asked why he would call 911 on himself. Nicholas then began to gloat about what he had just done. He smiled and said that cop had no right to stop me. He also said that I saw him turn his lights and sirens on and was going to stop, but then I decided I didn't want to. Later on in the conversation, the arrest affidavit stated that Nicholas ran because he thought it would be fun. He stated that he called 911 because he could not believe that after obtaining his tag, they could not find him. He even said on the call, "What do we pay you guys for?" Like I've driven past 4 cops. However, the officer confirmed to Nicholas that they did not have his tag, and they only obtained it when Nicholas called into 911 bragging about running away. Nicholas reportedly responded with, "That's funny, and so I told on myself." He continued to brag and said that no cop can catch me in my Hyundai Elantra.
Well,
that thing is fast.
Yes.
Nicholas was transported to St. Johns County Jail without incident. He continued to joke and laugh about the incident there. He is facing multiple charges, including possession of marijuana under 20 grams, possession of a controlled substance, possession of a drug paraphernalia, and maintaining a drug vehicle.
Well, there you go.
Can't fix stupid.
No.
I don't know.
What a dumbass.
Well, that's what we got for this week in Florida. I'm going to go ahead and take a slight break here and finish up to this week's show with hopefully Joe getting screwed over in the Beanboozled Challenge. All right, folks. So we've come to the end of the show. We're gonna give this Beanboozled thing another shot this week. If I get that dead fish thing again, I'm gonna probably hurl over the floor. So just be ready for that. For those of you that didn't see the show last week, we did the. It's correct.
Compliments of Kathleen Plotho. Thanks, Kathleen.
Thank you. For those of you that may have not watched the show last week,
Why didn't you watch the show last week?
We did this Beanboozled challenge for the first time. It was a rough, before the show even started, I threw in the blooper where I picked up the box and the damn beans went all over this floor out here. Naturally, I lost. I got a dead fish flavor or something. It was already gross enough. I was doing semi-okay with it until he told me what it was, and then I wanted to puke all over the floor. So this spinner thing doesn't work, so we'll just do it like we did last week. Just blind draw here. So you want to go first or second this week?
I'll go first.
Joe's going to go first. All right.
I wasn't afraid. I mean, I was bothered by the whole thing. I wasn't that scared until you were sick for 2 days from it.
I was burping up fish for up until today, pretty much. It's pretty disturbing. So. Let me see what you got. Here. Okay.
It looks harmless. This is the worst part, is actually putting it in my mouth. Last time it was gross because it was a jelly bean, because jelly beans are disgusting. But I can't really win. I mean, no matter what, either it's going to taste like jelly bean or it's going to taste like diaper. My heart is actually pounding a little bit. Oh, it's a nasty.
Does that taste like chocolate pudding to you?
No, it does not.
Then you are tasting canned dog food. I'm guessing you've probably eaten something similar to that before anyway.
We were raised poor. All right. So. Good.
Good. It doesn't smell good. I can smell it.
I'll tell you what, this is bad, but it's not dead fish. This tastes bad, but I can take this. My eyes are just watering a little bit.
So help me God if I don't get a delightful flavor today.
Oh, that's the same color as you had last time, isn't it?
I don't know. I don't remember. I just remember the god-awful flavor.
All right. Well, it's a new flavor. Aw.
Okay. Here we go.
You're braver than I am.
It's like bubble gum or something.
Toasted marshmallow. You are the winner.
Winner! I even brought a mint with me this time in case.
I wondered why you brought that.
I'm not playing any games.
That really wasn't too bad.
That was pretty good.
My eyes.
That's 1-1. Next week's
It
can be the
is
rubber match. Unless one of us hurls.
That was a little
really
disappointing.
Little anticlimactic.
I didn't get sick. I'm sorry for the disappointment.
All right, so that's going to be the show for this week. Appreciate you guys hanging in with us. Joe and I are flirting with the idea of maybe doing a live show from Circus City Days this year.
Are we going to just show up?
Why not? That's what everybody else does.
What can they do? Throw us out?
It's a little bit past his bedtime, maybe, when we do that. I don't know.
Oh, it would be, wouldn't it?
So I'm trying to think what time they open. Probably between 5 and 6. It's usually not that busy right away, though. So
The best day would be a Saturday. That's when it's the busiest, too, there. Isn't that the craziest day out there for you guys?
well, the Saturday is like the parade, and then they open it up. I'm not sure how late it's open Saturday. I don't think it goes all night. I've never worked Saturday night, so
I think it does.
I
have not been there at night in 25 years.
wow.
I've been afraid. You're gonna have a gun, aren't you?
I've always got a gun.
Okay, well, I'll go then.
All right. Well, we appreciate you guys sticking with us.
Thanks, and we apologize.
Yeah, I mean, let us know if that's something you might even be interested in, seeing a show from from down there at the Circus City Days or not. We'll flirt if we can manage to squeeze in the time frame to do it. We might be able to do something down there.
Would we be able to like take pictures of other people while we're doing that? That'd be fun.
People take pictures and videos of me every year down there.
Yeah.
So appreciate you guys sticking with us, and we will see you all soon. Take care.
Bye. I gave you the other hat because this one's a little more fruity. And you have a reputation to worry about. I do not.
Well, the cat went out the window when I won the best looking guy in the dress.
And you took it away, too.
It's all
It
over.
wasn't even close.
Man, these are filthy.
Mine were, too. That's why I couldn't figure out why I couldn't see last time. They were really dirty.
And I got to read. As if that's not hard enough for me already.
One of those big words that always end up being Buttafuoco.
Yeah. No, isn't that ridiculous how many...
Buttafuocos are? Is that Italian?